Hello and welcome to Sage's Retreat, the one and only place on the internet where you can get all the goss and the experienced knowledge you could ever want or need. I'm Nathan, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and fellow Sage Lee.
Oh, good Lord, third time around. Hello, good people.
And today we have a brand spanking new guest for you, all around good girl and spooky enthusiast. Yes,
Hi, I'm
nice
Jess.
to see you.
Nice
Yeah.
to meet everybody.
Hiya.
It's good
And
to
I
have
am a good girl.
you. Yeah, you are very good.
Mhm.
So to start off today, let's say congratulations on passing your theory test. Very well
Thank
done.
you.
Yeah, it's a big achievement, and I know
It
you've been practicing a lot.
is.
So,
Thank you very much. It was incredibly stressful.
oh, yeah.
But I did it finally. It's
Yeah.
taken me long enough. So
Yes, it
yeah,
has. Yeah.
finally.
But you've done it, and you're on to bigger and better things now. You're
I am.
setting
I'm
the
on
driving
to
test now.
big things.
Yeah, good. We have a set of questions we ask all our guests, and we'll be asking them you today, as well as after that your favourite subjects, which are creepypastas and cryptids, as well
Yep.
as spooky stuff.
The
So,
spooky things.
yeah, Lee's got you some lovely questions to start off with.
Woo.
Oh, what is that doing? You know, the best thing is that most people don't know what creepypastas or cryptids are. So
Yeah.
that's the more interesting bit.
Yeah. But we'll find out. Jess has got a good explanation for us.
I hope so.
Professional.
See, I looked up what creepypasta. I know the history of the word, and I thought that was interesting enough as it was. So I've heard your name pop up quite a few times. Nathan's mentioned you. Jess at work. It's just like just that was it.
That's me.
Jess
I
at
am Jess
work.
at work.
Yeah.
Jess at work. Yeah, definitely improvement from Ben.
Something new.
Yeah.
Something different, of course.
Yeah.
So yesterday we played Sea of Thieves.
We did.
How do you find Sea of Thieves?
I am really enjoying Sea of Thieves. It's really fun. I'm new to online anything or like multiplayer with anybody. I've only recently gotten the Xbox myself.
Okay.
And it's been one of the games that I've been dying to play because I've always watched playthroughs for games, but I've just never really had the actual console myself since I was a lot younger. But I'm really enjoying it. It's fun. It's interesting. It's not so serious, which is nice.
Yeah.
The people that you're playing it with, you're not necessarily really worried about like points and kills and stuff like that. It's more of like a fun sort of thing for everyone to sort of enjoy. Which is
one thing
nice.
Nice and chilled.
Yeah, there's not as much pressure.
You say that. I mean, one thing about Sea of Thieves, it's not a playthrough type of game. It's definitely you can go on it for half an hour and have a great experience, but you can go on it for 2 hours and be really bored. I mean, we've done that ourselves. I mean, we've got between us, we've got hundreds of hours of gameplay on it. We both have the title of what they call a pirate legend, and this means that you've done a series of significant sort of jobs, missions, and all the rest of it, and you eventually and you're working for different factions, and eventually you get this pirate legend. So if you ever see anyone and they've got the little thing that says pirate legend, just be aware that they've played the game a lot and they'll probably be able to kill you. Just keep in mind.
Yeah. How many days was it?
12 days, like 4 hours or something. I can't remember what it was. Just that's just me on my own without at least telling you.
That's insane.
That.
So far, I've only played the tutorial on my own, and then all of the rest of it I've played with it as being online, which has been really fun. I've not learned everything yet.
There's
but
lots
I have
to
learned
it.
that you can eat a banana with the skin on, and I think that that's the most important part.
Yeah, it is.
But for me, the best bit for me is my monkey called Terry.
Yeah, I do. That's one of the things that I am looking forward to getting. I do want an animal. I'm desperate to get a cat on the game.
Can you call it Terry?
I think I'd have to name it after one of my actual... I nearly said human cats.
Yeah.
One of my actual cats.
Yeah.
So it'd be depending on what it looked like. If it was a black one, it'd be Merlin, because that's my black one. And if it was a stripy, any other kind of cat, it would be Peaches, because that's my other one.
Merlin, because you're a big fan of the TV show? Or...
He's just a spooky guy.
Yes.
And I just saw my Merlin, and I refer to him as an accident because he wasn't planned. Peaches I was planned on actually having, and then Merlin came second as an accident. But when I saw him,
you sound like a 35-year-old kid with 35-year-old woman with 7 kids who's just going, well, Ryan, he was an accident.
Yeah.
Savannah also, hate to
but
say
this all
it,
happened in the same
accident.
day.
Yeah.
So not quite as bad. Like,
Good Lord.
literally got Peaches. They told me that Merlin was left, or he wasn't named. They just said the little black one's the only one left, and I was like, I can't handle knowing that he's on his own, so just bring him to me and I'll have him.
There's some really horrendous joke about little black orphans there, but that's probably sorry.
But I just looked at him and thought he just looks like a spooky guy, so I'm going to call him Merlin.
Fantastic. So we have a jet black cat that's slightly floofy that's called Midnight.
Aww.
And I think it just all go Merlin and Midnight. I love it. Both names still sort of fit very, very well.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so back to Sea of Thieves. So what quite happened there? Sea of Thieves, fantastic games. I'm going to say it's not a photorealistic game, but the experience with the ocean, me and Nathan have both agreed on this, is arguably one of the best experiences you can have. It just rocks nicely. You feel like a sense of dread, like you could die for real.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to go in the water. For a start, the sharks there. You've not fought a Meg yet.
No.
And you've not seen a Kraken.
No.
Now, both a significant experience. Megs aren't so much, actually. I think the Megs are pretty tame, aren't they? And sometimes they just leave you alone.
Yeah.
But a Kraken, I went on that game once just for. I was like, I'm just going to go on 20 minutes because I just got this bit of time. I was going to do something. I set off. A Kraken appeared. What it is, that the music changes. The sea goes black, and inky black, and these sort of like tentacles come up like this, massive as well. They're not like, it's not like this is the ship and it's a little tentacle. No, it's like this, massive, and I just turned the game off.
Not today.
I'm not prepared for this. I just literally, I jumped on the ship and just went off. I'm like, hey, here I go. I'll play another day. Just turned it off, which is a valid way of treating a Kraken if you are not prepared with enough cannonballs and wood.
Yeah,
I've
yet to find an actual Kraken.
We'll get you one, don't we?
You don't find them; they find you.
They find you.
Yeah.
They find you.
Yeah.
So we've spoken about Sea of Thieves. Obviously, you seem to quite enjoy that. You're getting into that. There's loads to it. There's a really great love story in it that happens between some. There is though, isn't there? And I've got. I don't know whether you've got it as well, but I've got the. Oh yeah, because did we unlock the skins, the ship skins for it? It's like, is it the rose red or rose something or another? That was ages ago. Yeah. But I've got this really cool there's like this love heart thing. It is a great story to listen to, and you'll probably enjoy that.
I do like a good story.
But the question is, the all important question is, where did you start? What was your first game?
Super Mario Bros. Probably.
Okay, just straight off the bat, Super Mario Brothers, and you being 23. What we're talking either it was a NES that was hanging around for too long, or it was a Super Nintendo.
I had a lot of defunct technology around me as a child. So it's difficult for me to remember. I know we definitely had a GameCube. That was
arguably one of the best consoles ever.
Yeah,
that was one that we definitely had knocking around. But then that was when I was like quite young. But then when I was like older and I got back into it again, I had a Wii, and that was what I actually played most of it on.
I love the Wii. I will fight to death for the Wii.
I really liked it.
People don't like this, but I think the Wii U was also extremely good, and it wasn't given enough opportunity.
I've never played a Wii U. My nephew has one, but I haven't played with it. But the Wii itself, I've had a couple, and I will swear by Just Dance as a game because that's absolutely fantastic. Wii Sports is fantastic as well.
It is amazing game.
Super Mario Bros. I've completed that game on the Wii so many times. It's insane, over and over again. Never get bored of it. It's always fun. You can find random bits in it even if you've played it so many times. Like it's just fun. And especially like on the Wii when you've got it 2-player as well, it's even better because you obviously working together and things like that. And it is just super. It's just a laugh. Like it's never like getting mad really playing Super Mario Brothers. Like you're getting mad at the game, but you're not getting like actually angry.
Okay. It's fair. That's fair. Favorite game straight off the bat. Bang. Favorite game.
At the moment,
no.
Spiritfarer.
Or no, forever.
If it was going to be forever, it would be Super Mario Brothers.
Okay.
That would be
but is that because it was your first experience?
probably first and longest. It's the most committed I've been to a game, I would say.
Okay, that's fair. But right now, you've locked yourself into Spiritfarer, which I tried and then I forgot I had. Nathan has played it a lot. Have you completed it, Nathan? I know you.
No, because there's that much to it, and I'll have to do everything 100% and like get all the recipes and max out all the relationships with the people. All of it. Jade streams it quite a lot. That's probably her favourite game, is Spiritfarer.
Okay. It is lovely. It's just lovely. Like it's just a really nice experience.
It's a right chilled game. Music's all nice, and it's just sailing around seas.
I just want to butt in. I think I saw some like orbs go past your head there when you were sitting. There was like some like slight like dust, but it was like large going past. As I'm looking at you, it's the other side to the monkey.
It might be the cat's collar. She has a tag. So it might be reflecting off of her because she is sat there.
Or could it be?
Or it might be a ghost.
Okay. It being Merlin could have like conjured something up, maybe.
Yeah. Honestly, I would not be surprised.
Like a little cauldron, like.
I would not be shocked. Like I said, he's a very spooky and mysterious guy.
So we've got your first gaming experience. We've looked at your favourite game, which we're rolling back to Super Mario Brothers. But you're loving Spiritfarer.
Yes.
Would that be what you're playing at the moment? Is that have you got a handful? Do you juggle games?
Yeah, I'm a juggler. I like platform games and just things like that. So I've recently downloaded Dead Cells, which I've started playing, which is quite fun.
I've had a bit of time. I haven't got very far, but it's like I sat down and played it for half an hour, and I was like, it's amazing, and then just forgot about it. Played it for half an hour.
There's a lot to see. So you don't feel like you're going very far necessarily, but you're like seeing a lot, and especially because it changes every time you like die.
The combat is amazing on it.
Yeah, you've got a lot to like see in there, so that one's fun. What else have I played recently? Rocket League. Rocket League's fun. Simple, easy.
I think I've got over 500 hours in Rocket League.
Yeah, that's a fun one. What else have I been playing?
Have you played with Nathan?
Yes. Yeah. And Ben.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to have a go. I'm a very good goalie.
See, that was our issue. We didn't even have a goalie at any point.
I'm 100%.
We were better, I would say, at the ice hockey version.
That don't count.
The ball version.
The key to Rocket League for success, even if you're not very good, the key is to rotate. Yeah. So what happens is if you've got someone going forward and it messes up, the person that messed up or didn't get their chance, they need to then turn back, come back towards their goal, but then the goalie can then go out. So what you're doing is you kind of have this rotation of you're never thinking what's going on. But if you've got a team of 3, 2 of you stay out, 1 of you stays in goal.
Yeah.
And then every now and again, I've scored most of my goals from being a goalie and then coming out and just kind of plopping it in when they didn't expect it. Because they didn't know he's always in goal. Nope, I've come out and I've just knocked it straight in. Some of my best and favourite goals have been like that.
Some of the mini games are really fun. Me and Ben had to go on some of the mini games.
That basketball
one's quite difficult, but it is fun. And that double bounce one, that one's hard.
The floor.
So, yeah.
Once you learn the rules,
hole in the floor.
Once you learn the rules to that game, it becomes fun.
See, we had absolutely no idea what we were doing. We didn't even know that we were meant to be bouncing it, so we were just sort of
whacking
absolutely no idea what we were
doing.
doing.
So it's to do with whoever hit it last. So if I hit it, it becomes a weapon for me to destroy certain elements of their floor. It's complicated. I won't lie. Yeah. It's complicated.
Definitely.
Anything new coming out recently? Any game on your horizon?
Stray. Looking forward to that.
Oh, to do with you're a cat, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I think I mentioned this, Nathan, on one of our when we were talking about stuff. Let me just have a quick look at that. Carry on talking about Stray. What happens?
I don't know very much about the actual game itself. I'm trying to keep it a mystery. Don't want to go in there knowing too much. All I know so far is I've watched basically the trailer, and you're a cat, which is always a great start.
You got a backpack.
Yeah, you got a
Yeah.
backpack which helps you like talk to people and stuff like that. So obviously that's decent. You're investigating stuff, and it's the vibe of it that I've seen so far just seems quite interesting and fun.
Yeah.
Like it's quite futuristic, so that's exciting.
I love this very short description. Stray game lets you play as a cat in a cyberpunk world. I love that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be neon lights and rain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks really, really cool. I'm very excited about it, which is rare because I've only recently gotten back into the gaming thing again, and I haven't really been getting excited about stuff gaming wise, but I am for this.
When's it due out?
Again, I can't remember off the top of my head.
I've got it here. So early 2022. Simple as that. That's all we've got. So I mean, early soon. That's
I think
like
I think
March.
I saw something about March, but I'm not sure. Like,
yeah,
I feel like to be early, it has to be sort of
March January to March, really.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you can design your cat.
I know that is something that I am hoping. I don't know if it's one set cat protagonist.
I hope not. I think that would be the. If it is to do with a story, then at least let me, like Mass Effect, I can have designed my own character. And for a cat, I mean, maybe I had a bad experience with a ginger cat once, and I want it to be a white cat, or I've got we've got a grey cat. It's kind of grey, sort of light grey, dark grey sort of patches and stripes. I like that. I think that would be cool to be able to. You don't want a black cat. You're not going to be able to see it, are you, in the game at all?
I don't know though, but if you got to find like clues and solve mysteries and stuff, it might be better to be able to like hide in the shadows.
So obviously the developers aren't going to be listening to this, but imagine if the colour of the cat dictated a different style of gameplay.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So imagine that a white cat maybe was deaf, so couldn't hear stuff, but had heightened. Because the thing is, my daughter's cat is like physically quite big and strong, and also like very attuned to people walking around, and also notices a lot more. Maybe that could be it. Maybe it could be that it picks up on stuff easier, sees more things. Yeah, could be.
I thought you were going to say that the area changed based on the cat, so the cat would be camouflaged into its surroundings regardless of the colour you chose.
Yeah. So you haven't let me finish, because what we could have is exactly like you said, a dark cat could hide in the shadows and not be seen. Because my midnight, there's a reason that a lot of black animals don't get chosen. Not racism, because we can't apply that to animals. It feels a bit unfair, but it's because they're just not very photogenic.
Yeah, it is difficult to get pictures of them. Not that, and people think they're bad luck, don't they?
Yeah. I can't focus. Yeah, if you're over 60, I can't focus on Midnight because she's got a soft fur, so there's no outline to her.
Yeah.
The only way I get her is if she looks at me, because she's got this you see these eyes come at you. So, but I love Midnight. Midnight's great. But
I've managed to get a few good ones of him in summer when he's been laying in the sun.
Right. That's so when he's got a spotlight on him. You can see
pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
But yeah. So I think we've covered your little bit of gaming. I know Nathan wants to talk about something else we love on this channel.
We absolutely love films. We obviously do lots of reviews and stuff on films, and we're always talking about them. So, what's your favourite film? And I know I've give you a preliminary little hint of these questions, but we had a little talk before, and we're going to change them slightly. So just to sweep you, so you don't know what's going on. But,
oh God!
Oh
God! Here we go.
I want to know your favourite film, but I want like top 3 as well.
Oh.
So your favourite can be part of that top 3.
Don't stress at it, because I mean we've spoke about this before. So if I was to say my top favourite films, I'd be like Alien, Interstellar, but then I'd go, sometimes it's this one. A lot of the time it's Enter the Dragon, but that's more like a connection to do with. It's why I laughed when you said the 1-inch punch thing. I was like, because that's the whole Bruce Lee thing. Yeah. So I flip flop between my top 2, and it's weird.
Mine's very fluid. I don't say I have the one that I would class as like my favourite. I would say it stays up there. Which
fluid,
would be
like most depressed teenagers' sexuality these days.
Yeah. I would say my favourite. I really like Blair Witch Project. I would say that's my favourite.
Wow,
horror.
that's older than you, isn't it? That one. Does that come out?
What year did it come out? I want to say mid to late 90s.
Yeah,
Or...
99 to 2001.
I was born in 99, so
Oh, 99, it is 99.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's got a reason to be a favourite.
Oh, Alien came out in 1979, and that's when I was born.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Alien is great as well.
Mm.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World's always a fun one to
I've seen
watch.
it-
I love that film.
I watched it once. I won't watch it again, but I enjoyed it.
I really like it. I just like the style. You don't see it that much. It's fun.
It's influenced by games so much.
Yeah.
That film. It's like a proper
Yeah,
gamer's
it is.
film.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
well,
really fun.
isn't it to do with the comics?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really fun. It gives that blend of live action and cartoon that's just interesting and it's just easy to watch. Third, I'm a musicals person, so I'm sorry. Film adaptation of a musical favorites are probably Phantom of the Opera because it's fantastic.
There's a film.
Yes,
I
there's a
think-
film.
I
There's a few.
I
But
hate.
Oh my god, it's amazing. I've seen it live. It's amazing.
Yeah. If you say Mamma Mia, I'm gonna disconnect.
No, not a
thank
massive Mamma Mia
God
fan. I
for
love the
that.
songs, but I'm just not like mega into like the films
I
themselves.
couldn't get on with. I seen it. I couldn't get on with it.
Rocky Horror Picture Show, another firm favourite.
Yeah.
Love that. They're all just weird.
Yeah.
Every
films that I like, they're just kind of bizarre.
Right, Matt, have you got a microphone plugged in? Because I think you might have just unplugged it.
Yeah, you just unplug your mic.
Hang on.
better.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It didn't really come out. It just kind of did a little bit. How bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah,
worries.
trying to think of other films that I really like.
So we've got
Cats.
Blair Witch.
I hated Cats. I've not even seen Cats. I hated the
uh,
trailer of Cats so much
Yeah.
that I didn't even watch the film.
Yeah.
What's his name again? I keep forgetting
James
his name.
Corden.
James Corden.
Oh, fuck off.
I hate
Everyone
him.
hates James Corden. Nobody
I hate
likes
him
him. I
so
don't know what he's
much.
about. Yeah.
Like, I've seen things on Reddit about him just being a horrible person to people when they meet him
Yeah.
and stuff, and like, he's just awful. Other films that I really enjoy, the Batman franchise,
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
I had a
That's solid
conversation
films.
with my wife yesterday. I said, "So, new Batman film coming out. Do you want to see it?" She went,
Yeah.
"They're all the same." And I looked at her, and I said, "No."
No.
And I was like, "Right." So my description, see if you agree. The first two, amazing. 1989, the original Batman came out. Michael Keaton, goddamn amazing Batman. For that to relaunch the Batman into the world of cinema, that was perfect. It's an amazing film. Batman Returns, a lot of people actually like it a lot more than the first. I'm gonna sit it equal. I think they're both amazing films together. So, same with Alien. Aliens. We've had this conversation. I think they're both amazing. For me, Alien edges it because of the suspense and the horror. Whereas for me, the original Batman, I just like the atmosphere better than the second. But I do appreciate them both. Then we had this clusterfuck of shit Batman films with George Clooney, his nipples, and Val Kilmer. And nobody can remember them all that well. It's like, I know Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze or something, and it's like, Jim Carrey was in there. Okay, so we've got that information. And then it's like they just put Batman to the side. We're going to leave those for a bit. And then, of course, we've got the Christopher Nolan ones.
See,
which,
they're the ones that I really
Yeah.
love.
now, first one, very good. Second one, an absolute stunner of a film. Heath Ledger's Joker. I do very much appreciate Heath Ledger's Joker. And the third one, I very much enjoyed as well. Although it was a different tone. It was a different thing. It came across very differently. But as if I was to put those three up against the first two, I like the first film, the original one. But I think as a group of films, that collection of Chris Nolan films, amazing. I have them on Blu-ray, and I need to watch them again because I haven't watched them for a year or so.
I'm going to watch them before the new one, I think. And then I'm going to go and watch the new one because that's probably the film that I'm looking forward to most at the moment.
I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. Like, I think he's going to make a great Batman.
I'm intrigued. Like, I was a big Twilight fan.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of wondering how it's going to mesh.
But he's a good actor.
He is, but for me, I hate rom-coms, and I feel like he's been in a lot of rom-coms. So, like, that sounds bizarre when I say I was a massive Twilight fan, but I was, like, a teenager at the time. even less, even younger. But I haven't really watched any of the like recent stuff that he's been in. Like I haven't seen him being like too serious, if you know what I mean.
He's done quite a few serious films lately. You know, he's like starting to shine as a proper actor.
The only one
Solid.
that I know about that he's done recently would be The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched a bit of that and I was like, I really struggled with it. Like, I'm more interested to see how Zoe Kravitz comes across in it. She plays Selena Kyle, Catwoman. Also in it is Colin Farrell. He plays Oswald Cobblepot. I love Colin. I think he's a fucking banging actor. Comes across so good. Just punch yourself out of existence there.
Don't mind me.
And also the other one worth mentioning is Andy Serkis, who's playing Alfred.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think it's a solid group of actors. I'm quite looking forward to it. There's also I've just clicked off the page. I feel really bad. There's a black guy in it who's playing James Gordon, and he's been in loads of stuff. You'll recognise him when you see him. I'm not opening the page back up, but I think it's a good cast of actors, and I think he's going to need it. He's going to need it. He's going to need that backup to make sure that people appreciate him. Because if they're just relying on him, they might fail.
Yeah.
Because of hatred and Twilight and whatever.
I don't think it's hatred so much as it's just.
No, it's attachment. So you have Twilight, and people just
cast as that sparkly vampire guy.
You fucking took the words out. I'm not happy with you. You just took the words right out of my mouth. That sparkly fucking vampire. That's all people are going to see. But you need to get rid of that. That was like, what, 15 years ago? Maybe?
Don't say that. That makes me feel really old.
I'm going to look it up. Carry on.
Wonder when the first Twilight book came out.
Twilight came out 2008. So
is that the film?
My bad. 14 years ago.
That is a long time.
I was 9.
Yeah.
Lest we forget. Yeah. So, talk about your favourite films. What are you watching at the moment? / what have you watched? So this can be films or TV. So if you're watching series,
Okie dokie. I recently, film-wise, watched I Am Mother. I thought that was good. Interesting concept. Interesting
It came out
twist.
like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I think so. But it was on Netflix, and I finally got to watching it. I've started watching Archive 81, which is based on a podcast that I used to listen to, which is exciting because it's like a spooky podcast. As far as I'm aware, it's based on the Magnus Archives, which was like a podcast about a guy who went to work in an archive, and he was transcribing all of these tapes, which is what the guy's doing in the program. And obviously it gets spooky, paranormal. The tapes have various spooky paranormal things on them. And I think the concept's good. I think it's exciting that something that's gone from a podcast and it's finally got like, some film Netflix recognition. That's
some adaptation,
it's exciting. It's independent, I suppose. Well, I suppose it's Netflix, but it's one of them where the ideas come from somewhere, and hopefully they've got the credit for it that they deserve and should have.
I mean, technically, ideas all come from somewhere, but we'll go with that. We'll go. I understand what you're saying. Netflix haven't gone. This is our thing. It's come from something small, which is great. Which is great.
Yeah, which is good. I've been kind of watching Snowpiercer, the new Netflix series.
I haven't watched the new episodes that came out that started like a month ago or so, but I've watched all of them previous, and I really enjoy Snowpiercer. I didn't dislike the film.
I haven't watched the film.
Leave it for the moment. Just watch. Once Snowpiercer's done, watch. Just feel free to watch it. But
because isn't it different? A different like kind of it veers off into a different ending, sort of.
It's its own thing, like in a way. It tries to. It's about the big story beats and just jumping through them to the end of the film.
Right.
I mean, Chris Evans is in it, and he clearly carries it quite solidly. But the TV show is a little bit different. It has a different main character.
Yeah.
It's the story's a little bit different. You got the 2 trains and everything. I enjoy it.
To me, watching the series and seeing how much it's like happening,
Yeah.
it baffles me how it can be a film, because to me it feels like it'd miss out so much stuff, so much like character development.
But it's all made up. TV and films are totally different. A film is about just going bang, bang, bang. There's the ending.
Yeah, I feel like
TV
it
is
works
about
better as a series than I can imagine it would work as a film.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there are certain
Probably why it
beats,
didn't do so well.
Yeah, there are
Maybe.
certain like beats in it that you see and you're like, oh, that hits because of something that happened like episodes and episodes ago.
Yeah,
but like,
we don't
as
need...
I say, I've only been vaguely watching it. My partner religiously watches it. I'll sit in with him sometimes and watch it. I can get the story without having to watch it all, which is good. And obviously he'll fill me in on some stuff. But I like the concept of it. It's fun. You know, it's different. It's a bit. Is it? Would you class it as sci-fi?
It's not real, so yeah.
It's dystopian, I guess, isn't it?
It's dystopian science fiction. Anything that's not, that hasn't happened and that's not real is classed as sci-fi. And people don't realise that you can have if you have a film and it's got some, you know, drug that someone takes that does something to them, which right now is impossible. That's science fiction.
Like Limitless.
Yeah, just stuff. Yeah, Limitless is what I was kind of going with. But it's such a subtle science fiction that because it doesn't have lightsabers and spaceships, people forget that. But also some people, you say science fiction, they go, oh no, oh shut up. I mean, it's like Star Wars is like a mixture of fantasy and science fiction.
Yeah.
It welds them too. People say you can't call it science fiction. You can, however, because it's set. However, in the past or the future, everywhere anyone looked at it, it's a weird mix. But like if you look at Lord of the Rings, that's strictly fantasy, or you know, like Game of Thrones as well. But Nathan, carry us on.
Yeah, we've sort of already touched on what you're looking forward to this year. Is there anything else, or do you want to elaborate on what you're looking forward to?
Batman, like I've said.
Just Batman.
I've not really looked to see what is coming out yet. I like to be surprised. I like to go in with a bit of an element of mystery.
Just lately, it's been difficult anyway because everything gets cancelled or pushed back, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is true. I'm excited to see any new horrors that come out this year. I can't think of any off the top of my head at the moment. I know the new Texas Chainsaw has just come out, but I've been advised against watching that actually. So I was going to watch that, but I think I'll just save my time instead.
I would.
And not watch it because I've just.
I might let my daughter watch it. I have a 13-year-old who likes horror films, so I might let her watch it.
I was watching stuff like that with my mum at that age. Like she had me watching that sort of stuff. I don't think it's because it's too scary. I think people just think it's a bit shit. So.
It feels watered down. There's not much of a story to it. The characters don't really get any development. It's not. I mean, we're only an hour and 15 or something, and it felt like a lot longer, and like not much happened. Watch it if you want, if you've got a spare hour and 15. But
that's it. I just feel like there are things that I'd rather watch. Stuff like spooky stuff.
Do you like Harry Potter stuff?
Yeah. I can give it or take it. Like, it's one of them where it's on at Christmas, I'll watch it, but I will never sit down and choose to sort of.
I thought you were going to say yeah. So you strike me, with your age and your interests. I would have thought you'd have gone, oh, I love Harry Potter, but I've just been a bit like, well, I've let myself down there. There's a Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore's coming out in April.
Not seen the first ones.
Okay, sure. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is coming out.
I have seen that. That was fun.
Okay, good. I'm
glad they redesigned him, is what I'll say.
Well, there's a theory that was done on purpose.
We have discussed this. I am sort of in the middle on that. It could be, and if it was, then good on them. It was clever, I guess. Talking.
I genuinely think it's. I think that theory is bang on for that one.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Anyone that's not watching, there's a cat appeared.
She's incredibly needy. Don't mind her.
I've discovered if you slap them a few times, they just go away.
I could never. She can disrupt my whole life because she will anyway.
No worries. As long as she's quiet.
Yeah, she will be. She's not a talker, don't worry.
Oh, God.
Should we get into the meat?
Yes, let's do it.
Into the episode.
35 minutes later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're all veggie as well, aren't we? So do you eat? So I'm like pescatarian.
Same.
Oh, so we're all the same then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So do you find yourself just going off fish from time to time?
Yep.
Or do you question it a little bit
Yep.
sometimes? Yeah.
I can't eat prawns anymore
I don't.
because
I
now
don't.
they freak me out too much. I just don't like it. It just freaks me out. Now, every once in a while, I will have a time where I'm like, I don't want to eat any sort of fish at the moment at all because it just makes me feel gross. But I lack protein.
It's a mindset. It's like you look at people's reason for not eating meat or all over the place, but I look at a cow and think that's a little person there.
Yeah.
I know it's a cow, but that's a little thing of its own design.
They're
and
just
I know
like big dogs.
they are. They're supposed to be as intelligent as well.
Yeah.
So I know that they're there because we mass produce them to be there. I get that. People said, well, if nobody ate meat, there won't be cows. And I said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Leave them alone.
Leave them to wander, and then let them do their own producing instead of you artificially inseminating them.
Yeah, it's sad. It's
instead
really
of you
sad.
raping, you're instead of raping them, let them do their own raping. Leave them to it.
We can't get through one episode without mentioning a rape. Every time.
I feel bad. Yeah, but like fish. If I was to get fish and look at it, it just looks dead to me. Even when they're alive, they look a bit dead. I don't have any. I don't look at a piranha and think, "Oh, I want to eat you."
If it's a bit weird because like you see videos of like octopuses opening jars and you think, "I want to eat you," because
I had some squid the other day.
You've got a brain, but I don't know if squids open jars.
No, I think they're the stupid crustaceans or whatever they're called, cephalopods.
It's the octopus that's the clever one, and you don't really find that as much to eat.
Then again,
I guess.
I've not seen a dog open a jar.
No, I've never seen a dog open a jar. That is true.
They haven't got thumbs.
No.
Need some thumbs, don't they?
Maybe.
Or tentacles.
Yeah.
Thumbs or tentacles, that's the only way.
Maybe there's some hidden video in some archive of dogs opening jars and they won't release it. That's my segue into mysterious things that are hidden in.
Good segue. Good
segue. Right. So we've got 2 words here. Creepypasta. That's one. We'll go with that as being one word.
Okay.
Creepypasta and cryptid. Tell me what a creepypasta is. It's not like it's not spaghetti that looks really weird, is it?
It's really
like little ghost spaghetti.
It's tiny spaghetti hoops.
Fucking hell! Look at that Tagler telly. Get away from me!
It's terrifying. No, it's become sort of like a blanket term for a scary story that's on the internet, or sort of like internet urban legend sort of thing. Creepypastas are just sort of stories that get shared around between people. I frequent the creepypasta subreddit. Has sort of changed. It's not so much about the scary stories anymore, so much as it is just people posting pictures of what they've drawn. So for me, the subreddit that I go to for my scary story fix is No Sleep.
Yes, I think I am actually on that. I think I've seen
it's
that
great.
One. Yeah,
some of the stories on there are fantastic, and to say it's free is amazing because some of the people on there are just so talented and the ideas are so original. And you think these should be films, like they're so interesting. And on that subreddit, everyone acts like everything's real. So in all of the comments on all of the stories, if you say you're in a situation where in the story you've been kidnapped and you're being held in a cave or something, people will respond in the comments with actual suggestions and help, and it's immersive in a way. Like it's fun to pretend that you're in that world. It's like it's exciting. Some of them are mad fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's just fun because some people think of things that you would never really think of.
So give me a good example of a creepy pasta.
Tagliatelle?
But you can't. It's like if someone said to me, "You like games?" I say, "Yeah," and I can't give an example.
I've got a few. I can't say what's popular so much because they're all for my sort of personal preference.
Go for it.
There's some that are on these are probably all from the No Sleep subreddit, which are good. There's one called the Pancake Family.
Let's do that. Go for it.
So I'm not going to give you obviously the entire story, but I will give you the ins and outs of what happened. Basically, spoiler alert, anybody, if you've not read The Pancake Family and you want to, go read it now.
Okay, I'm going.
Basically, it's a story, and it starts with basically saying that a family went missing. They all got kidnapped. They were all basically presumed dead, I think, or something like that.
So this is one of 5 storylines for all of these stories, is it? Is this just like one of the, something's like there's only so many stories, and they're all slightly different in terms of their content. This feels like a start of what could be 1 out of every 5. There was a family, they went missing.
Weirdly, this is only the only one that I've got in my roster that is based around a family. I think, yeah.
Okay.
There's one around a couple, but it's not like a full family. So this one, basically, the gist of it is they eventually find that the family was alive, but they'd all been put into presses, and very, very slowly throughout many years had been crushed so that they were all still alive, but they were being like fed via drip and stuff like that.
Is this like a new Slimming World
mad,
group?
fucked up. But the worst part about it is that when the police go in and they find them, the family didn't know that all of the other ones were there with them. So it's really tragic because you're thinking like they might have thought that they got away or they at least got killed so they've not had to go through this. But then in the end, it's them all realising that all of them have been there the whole time. So like it's traumatizing.
But Pancake seems like an unfortunate surname in this for that to then happen to her.
I don't quite think that was actually the name, but it could have been. Maybe that's why.
Maybe it was like a threat, like
a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, fucking turn you into a pancake, you bastard! And then, lo and behold, they all got kidnapped, separate rooms.
The next one is more of like
how thin did they get? How thin? Like, are we talking? Like, did they get like
I'm guessing maybe. Well,
because the thinning
English pancakes or American pancakes.
You could.
I'm guessing American because you've got to have a certain amount of bone.
Because how many miles would you be able to spread somebody across? That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think it gave you a circumference.
Like a perfect squish. Just be like, boof, there's a tennis court. Well,
it depends how large the person was to begin with, I suppose.
No names mentioned. I know a few people that could easily cover the moon. Yeah, got you.
The next one, as I say, is more of a phenomena.
Okay.
And that's the stairs in the woods thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
So yeah,
no idea. I'm open. Go.
About this.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just random stories of people that have been in the woods for any reason, such as like search and rescue people.
Is it like if you go down to the woods tonight, you might find a
and you'll
set of stairs.
Like stairs that are in the middle of nowhere leading to nothing, so just going into the sky, but they're not going into the sky. They do end at like the average 25 steps or whatever it is. But you could find like a spiral staircase in the middle of the woods, or like a wooden staircase just randomly in there. And apparently you're not supposed to go up them, you're not supposed to talk about them, because if you do, something bad's going to happen. Like you could be flung to another dimension, you could just die all of a sudden, like
fall downstairs,
you could fall downstairs,
like just keep walking and just
you might sprain your ankle.
Yeah, you might roll your
but there's like people that have stories that there's loads of them because it's such a wide sort of concept. There's loads of different random stories.
I love this. I walked into the kitchen at work the other day and slipped over a piece of gherkin. I didn't fall over, but I went. My foot travelled like a good foot, and I was like, who the fucking hell's done that? And the guys in the kitchen looked at me and just went, wasn't me. And they knew how angry I was at that particular time. And they went, one of them went, maybe one of the, like somebody dropped it. I looked at it and I was like, that is an end. That's come from your side. And I'm just like, no, it was definitely one of them did it. 100%. But they didn't admit.
Kill you. Buy a gherkin.
They didn't
got gherkined.
Go. I would have preferred a banana just for the whole
sheer
history.
Comic value.
Yeah. Go for the carry on stairs. Sorry.
No, it's all right. There's a series that's popular on No Sleep, which is the title's just something along the lines of I'm a search and rescue officer and here are my stories. And they've got various random stories about the stairs in the woods just causing havoc, basically.
Yeah.
The next one's a very short one, but it is a good one. It's called A Package Marked Return to Sender. So...
fuck it, open it.
Well, It's about a guy who lives next door to an influencer who decides that he's going to try and mail himself across the country in a very large box with all of his supplies and like a GoPro and see if he can get wherever he's going.
I've heard about something like this.
Yeah. And then, as I said, spoilers, the guy is like happy that this guy's fucking off for a bit because he's sick of hearing him all the time. But then one day he gets a knock on his door and it's a big old parcel because his neighbour had asked him to
If I'm not
do
in,
that.
send it to Nova.
So the guy doesn't know that the kid was doing this vlogging thing. He just knows that he's like gone on holiday pretty much. So he's been asked to take in any parcels for him, blah blah blah. Gets this package for him. He's like, fine. It's massive, so he has to take it into his garage. And then over the next few days, it starts to smell. And he'd accidentally dropped the package on the way into the garage as he was taking it in. And it turns out that the kid had broken his neck when he dropped the package, and it had it in his garage for like 4 or 5 days. And then the police find his GoPro in there, realise that obviously he'd filmed himself because obviously they thought that this guy had like killed him and put him in a box in his garage, but he hadn't. Found out that, so they knew that he hadn't killed him, but he had actually killed him because he cracked his fucking neck. Like, he dropped the box.
What a fucking genius.
But it wasn't, he didn't know that it was a human in there.
Yeah.
So that's...
Why didn't he shout? Why didn't he like...
because he's a fucking influencer and they're all dicks, innit?
Doing it for the pranks.
Innit? For the clout and that.
Yeah.
The last one I've got on here is a bit tragic. All of them are a bit tragic that I enjoy, to be fair. And it's called I Knew a Woman Who Never Took Off Her Wedding Dress. And it's about a woman who was getting married to her fiancé, and they made a pact that if one of them died, the other would come back to them and they'd go together, blah, blah, blah. They get married, and within a day or so, he gets killed in some sort of freak accident. And she is beside herself, and she won't take off a wedding dress because she's convinced that he's going to come and get her, and they're going to go off together, and that they're going to live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. And eventually they find her wedding dress. This woman goes missing. They find her wedding dress in the woods with 2 big slits out the back of it, as if she'd grown wings, took off her dress and left. But then it cuts to the perspective of her family member. I can't remember who it is. And it tells you that basically she actually found her dead in the bath in her wedding dress because she'd killed herself. So instead of the family finding her like that, the sister like goes and buries her and cuts up her dress and puts it in the woods so that the family think that something actually happened.
Interesting.
So that's tragic. But again, it's one of them where it's semi like some people do think like that.
So you like them grounded in reality a little bit?
I do, yeah. I like, Is it weird to say that I like stalkers as well?
It is a little bit, but each for their
Well,
own, innit?
I like stalker stories. Like, I like people thinking about, like, getting creative with the way that they would do things and stuff like that. I find it very interesting.
So Nathan may or may not know the story of me stalking my wife.
Were you married at the time?
Is this when you got out of prison? Why were in prison? Or
I was never in prison. So my children call me a stalker. I wasn't really a stalker, but they call me a stalker. So what it was, I'm going to try and cut a long story short, but I wasn't at school anymore, but my wife was still at. So I've actually known my wife since I was about 16, and we've been together 23 years or something like that. Married since 2014. And what it was, back in the day, it was very hard to track people, find people, meet people. No, listen,
well,
you'll understand what I used to do. So I used to like. I never used to see her, and I was kind of infatuated. So I wanted to be able to bump into her to see her. So I knew the school she went to. Listen.
You know where she'd be at certain times.
100%. So sometimes she used to come out of school at dinner. So in the local library, I would sit in a certain window because I could see the kids coming out of school. And if I saw her, and keeping in mind I'm only a little bit older than her. So then if I saw her come out, I would then go around the back of the library into Arnold, which is where we lived. and I would walk along the street and then bump into her, and then be like, "Oh, I haven't seen you for a while." And then we just chat. So I get my children call me a stalker all the time, and it's a little bit more innocent than that, but.
All stalkers say that though, don't they?
It's right. Do they know that they've got a problem until someone tells them?
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Yeah.
I'm fine with it, and she laughs about it now because it's not one of those things. See, I know kids now with Snapchat, they can literally track their friends on Snapchat.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
tell
that's
me
a bit
what's
different.
worse: innocently trying to meet someone who you like and have a talk with them, or watching your friend go to other people's houses and then going, "Why did you?"
I
It's
suppose
not
it'd be
too
a bit
dissimilar.
different if you weren't actually talking to her. It'd be a
She's-
bit
she-
different if you were just like staring at her from a
friends.
distance from behind a
Yeah.
tree or something. Like
no.
that would have been
So
worse.
we were friends. It wasn't at night. It was everyone was around, and she was always with her friends as well. So it's not like it wasn't like a really weird, creepy one-on-one down an alleyway situation. It was just a off chance on bumping into her sort of thing. Because I never used to see her. It was like I wanted to
I
see
can
her
I
again.
can
so
almost let you off.
thank you. No,
Almost.
I believe you do, but I think you play. I think you're rolling with it and make me look bad. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care. Look, she's been arrested. I've never been arrested, so we don't. But
Not for stalking.
no, I won't even say what for. But that's what that's what I have. That's what the kids hold against her is that she's been arrested, and I've never been arrested. So
Yeah.
But you are a
just wanna make
stalker,
sure.
so you're walking the line there, aren't you?
Yeah.
I accept it. I spoke to someone recently, and their story. I'm like, that's just like my story. They just wanted to be with someone, so they would do this thing that was like not normal, and it was like, but it ended up working out, and they got married and they got kids, and yeah, we're happily married, and we've got 4 kids now. So
I suppose it worked.
I mean, yeah, I guess
Persistence.
it's exactly.
When it's consensual.
Yeah.
It was fine. So you like stalker stories? I hope you didn't mind mine.
Yeah. It wasn't as spooky as normal.
No, it wasn't spooky, but I thought it was relevant, so I had to.
It was relevant though.
Definitely
Give me
had to
that.
What's
throw it in
creepy?
there.
Yeah.
Definitely a bit creepy. No
Definitely.
pastor involved, man.
What was that? What was the story that I read? I'm thinking of. It was like a stalker.
You ever think about that? Listen, I had a look up some popular creepypasta stuff. Now, one that I found very interesting was Slenderman, which came out, very popular across the world. I think everyone's heard of Slenderman. It originated from a Photoshop competition to do with people creating like weird, spooky things. And I'm like, dude in a forest, you walk along and it's like there's some weird stretched human being in a suit, and it was kind of, you couldn't really make out the details. That's creepy enough. But then there was some girls that took another girl into the forest, stabbed her 19 times as a sacrifice to the Slender Man. Good news is she survived. She actually crawled out the forest. She got found, and I'm like, where did this stab her?
remember her
just
name.
on the foot, like just was it on the thigh or something?
But it's been a very short knife.
You can
Maybe it's family knife or something.
You could like nick an artery and die in like 2 minutes. I don't know what they were doing. But...
If I remember correctly, one of the girls was like, she was like only half-heartedly in it. She didn't really want to do much of the stabbing, I think.
One got locked up for 19 years. One got locked up for 40. Mental institutions proper locked up. Is that a creepypasta? Is that?
It is a creepypasta. There are many stories that involve Slenderman.
Yeah.
I don't know if you count. Obviously, he doesn't count as a cryptid because he's not real, and it's known that it's not real, and it's just a story. Like if you say Bigfoot, a lot of people will say Bigfoot is real. So, but everyone sort of knows Slenderman's not real. But it is funny that you mentioned Slenderman. I enjoy that content. I have recently been watching a series about an ARG, alternate reality game, / web series where the villain was Slenderman. So the series was called Everyman Hybrid. It's very long. I haven't watched this series itself. I was watching a explanation series, which that explanation series in and of itself has been over like 7 videos, and they're all at over an hour and a half long because there's a lot of content. This whole thing took like 5 years as well that these guys did this for, and they pulled it off. Like it was great. But that's involving Slenderman, and it's also involving the Rake, which is another cryptid, humanoid
I saw that pop up. I saw it pop up, but I didn't read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the rake's like in there, and then there's also another sort of entity that possesses people. But that's a really good series. It's very, very in depth. It's old now, but I would definitely recommend it if you want to watch something that's got Slender Man as the villain.
So have you another creepypasta which came across on a few pages? I looked at a few like top tens or whatever. And do you know anything about the Pokemon stuff that happened?
No.
So this is
the games and the weird stuff that happened in the games, kind of
So there was
thing.
two. There was two. One Pokemon is to do with the TV series. The other one is to do with I think it was Pokemon Green. Only came out in Japan, and there was a series of suicides between the ages of 7 and sort of 12 years old.
Was it something to do with the music or something?
Lavender Village. And it was a certain frequency that's been put in. Apparently it was triggering kids, and something was happening. They don't know exactly what it was, but there was a spate of suicides, and there were
no, I do remember that. Remember that. I've just not heard about it in a long time, but that is it's bizarre.
Like, was it purposely put in there as someone come across something and thought, well, maybe I can upset kids by putting in some weird tune.
It's possible.
And the other thing
things have happened.
Yeah, the other Pokemon thing, I think it's less creepy, but it's to do with I think it's on this 10. There's actually 10 banned Pokemon episodes, but there's one of them where a certain Pokemon, there's these flashing, it's like a flashing light on the background, and it goes between all lots of different colours, and it triggered hundreds of children to have epileptic seizures at home.
Really?
Yeah, in Japan. I think it was. I don't know if it's only shown in Japan or it was shown there first, and they just went, "Yeah, we'll probably skip that one for the rest of the world." But this is a real thing, and that actually happened.
Yeah, Simpsons parodied it. So when they go to Japan, like Bart and Lisa watch like a Power Rangers episode, it's supposed to be, but it's like robots fighting.
Yeah.
And that flashes strobe lights, so they all start fitting. So that were around the same time when that come out. Yeah.
That's mad. No, I didn't know about that one.
Let's the creepypastas are quite long. There's a very interesting one to do with the Russian sleep experiment, which I would love to talk about. However, time's dragging on, and I want to jump onto some cryptid stuff.
Okay.
And I want to mention one first, and then I'll let you roll on to whatever. British big cats. Is that something that
not one of my favourites?
I like it because you know what? This for me has a real solid sense of reality to it, and it actually makes you think to yourself, well, there's not a lot of evidence for it, but at the same time, it feels real. Yeah. And this is what I like. See, for me, Bigfoot, I'm like, I can't. I want to believe, but I can't. You know. But
I have a great ability to suspend my disbelief.
Yeah.
No, with Yetis, I just like Yetis, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, all that. I find it because there's such a massive lack of anything. I like a bit of. I like you to throw me a little something for me
to
be
tasty
like,
morsel.
A morsel, yes, so I can understand it, and I can't. But the big cat thing's very interesting. So first recording 1790, there was a young lad who witnessed a mid-sized, like dog-sized kind of, like a spaniel or something, crawling up a tree and into a hole. And this was one of the first recorded, but modern day sightings come from about 1959, and they cover so much has gone off in Surrey. It's absolutely unbelievable. Every other one is like sorry. A famous one is Beast of Bodmin Moor.
Yep.
There was a puma that was caught in Inverness, and it actually died later in a zoo. They basically found this fucking puma, and we're like, oh, we'll put it in a zoo, and it lived the rest of its life in this zoo because you can't really let it walk around. And it's interesting. There's lots of examples of fur that's been found and tested, and they've gone. This is a big cat, because there are certain genetically, we can identify things, can't we, by these methods.
Fibers.
An interesting story was in. I'm going to read this one. 1988, the Ministry of Agriculture took the unusual step of sending the Royal Marines to carry out a massive search for the rumoured Beast of Exmoor after an increase of the number of mysteriously killed livestock. Massive search. A couple of them say they saw something, but they only ended up finding a fox. So, as for a very grounded in reality, modern day monster, if you like, is are big cats wandering around our countryside? What the fuck? Are we safe?
They could. Some are just very good at hiding and very good at camouflage.
But you have
For
to ask,
me,
why? Why are they out there? Because they don't
there are
belong there.
people that have like random pets imported from places though, and to be fair, and then can't
Lots
look
of
after
people
them. So
used to do that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there
And
were
just let
some
them go.
random big cats or some just random exotic animals that escape from people's houses
People
that
have
do get
private
seen.
zoos.
Like, because they've just escaped from a zoo maybe as well. And then people see them and then they just get released in the wild.
Do you want to explain what a cryptid is in case anyone don't know, Jess?
Yeah, my apologies. We kind of skipped that bit.
Just a creature that may or may not exist. Just like Bigfoot. I feel like that's an example that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, you might know Mothman. That's another one.
Chupacabra.
That sort of thing. Semi-monsters. They're not quite full monster, maybe.
Yeah.
They are more a bit grounded in reality. Some of them can lean more towards conspiracy theory, if you're talking like lizard people, that sort of thing.
That's a different. I think that's a different conversation, isn't it?
But that sort of creature.
Yeah, it's ones that's like science hasn't proven they're alive or they're a thing, but they can't disprove that they're not as well. So they're like in that.
Yeah.
Because I meant to get a list up before we started. There are actually cryptids that they've found to be real later on. That they've like discovered. People thought
that they were an actual animal.
Giant squids being one of them. That I can always remember that being one. Like sailors said it, and people were like, "Oh, they're talking crap and all this crap." And then
the coelacanth. What about the coelacanth as well? That massive fish. That might be a little bit different, but that kind of people were saying that they would see it, but everyone was like, "No, it's not a thing." But then they caught one, didn't they? And it was like this fucking massive. I don't think does it exist anymore? I can't remember.
I think there's quite a lot in like South Africa, sort of around the bottom, that part of the sea.
So, what's your favourite and why?
Ooh, favourite. I love whimsy. Like I love the whimsical side of it. So, for me, I love the idea of Mothman. That there's just a man moth flying around, chilling. Love the idea of that. I love the idea of mer people. I don't think that they're in the same sort of way as Ariel, Little Mermaid sort of thing. I think they'd probably be more in the vein of Harry Potter mermaids. A lot less friendly, but I do like the idea of them being out there. Bigfoot. I reckon there is Bigfoot. Why not? Like, we've not been everywhere yet.
There's
there
a
might
lot of
be.
places we haven't been.
Exactly. So. Like, you can't say that things aren't there, and that's why it's a thing. I find that really fun. Do
you think the famous footage of the Bigfoot going through, like he's walking through the trees?
I don't think that that's real, but I think potentially some footprints might be.
Have you just 100% just dismissed it, or do you are you open to
I'm
it?
a bit like
that footage where he's like it's like from 60s or something. He's like walking next to some trees. Recently, I watched a video on that. Someone stabilized it, completely.
I was going to mention that. It's so good.
Yeah, and you can see that it's just a man like in a costume, can't you?
No. That's the thing, though, because of the camera quality, you can't really tell as much, and I think that's what makes it a bit more fun and a bit more spooky, because you're like, oh, it's like found footage films, like they're my favourite kind of films. I love the idea of like creepy stuff caught on camera and stuff like that, like those like weird videos being like, I saw this creature in the middle of the road at night, and it's like, it looks like a hairless dog or a man that's like crouched over it, just like that sort of stuff. I eat that up easy. I love that kind of stuff. So any sort of like the rake's one that you meant to like wake up and it's this kind of like elongated human guy with animal eyes with like that reflective thing over his eyes, and if you look into his eyes, that's meant to mean that like you're going to end up being his next victim. And like just the idea of waking up and something like being gargoyled on end of your bed and then like turning around to look at you, so creepy, but in the most fun way.
Interesting. So, with what we looked at then, big cats, Yetis,
Big feet.
big feet,
Not Loch Ness.
Loch Ness is
Loch Ness.
one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I haven't actually thought about the Loch Ness monster in a long time.
I was going to say because that surely must be like one of the top 10 sort of.
I would say it is, but I would say for me, I like.
So obviously
really
Loch Ness
weird,
is like
unusual ones.
That's pretty unusual. Loch Ness is like what, 26 miles long, 2 miles deep, full of caves.
People think there's a portal in there, don't they?
Yeah.
I think we're going too far with that one. But
It's aliens.
It's definitely aliens. No, it's the lizard people.
Yeah.
Underground.
Do you think Loch Ness could? Do you think Loch Ness could be
I think there's a chance that it could be.
This plesiosaur, this.
It could be. Unless they did a full sweep of Loch Ness with a net, they're never gonna know.
Well, they've scanned it, haven't they?
Have they scanned it?
They've scanned it all, haven't they? They've done it a few times where they've had like a row of ships with radar, and they've gone across it a few times. I want to say I saw it on Blue Peter, but I don't think it was Blue Peter. I think it was something sort of similar.
Yeah. Maybe not then, but you never know where one of those caves under there could go. Have they all been explored? Like, I don't know that.
Of course, not at 2 miles deep. That place, at 2 miles deep, 20 odd miles long, that has not been fully explored.
Yeah, so there could
the
be
Mariana
a cave
Trench,
that leads to the other side of somewhere, or an underground pool of some description. We don't know if the creature needs air to breathe.
Who knows?
You never know.
Interesting.
I think it's fun to think about. It's fun to think that lots of things like could exist, because I think the alternative's quite boring, that we've discovered everything and that nothing else is like there out there.
Keeps things a little bit magic, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can you walk through a forest at night and feel fine?
No.
If someone told you there's no people in the forest, there's no people, so you're not going to be at any harm from actual, rapists, any hobos living in the forest, which you get obviously with this.
I would still be scared.
Like out of a common sense of it's dark, or just of a
I think
over my shoulder there's a fucking
I've read too many stories about Wendigos in the woods mimicking animals but badly, and hearing like owls or like something, but it sounds garbled and like off or like two-toned, and like I just think there's definitely a Wendigo in this woods, and it's definitely going to eat me, and it's definitely then make me into a Wendigo, or like something's going to reach out and grab me. You literally could be anything. Even if there was no humans in there, I'm never going to think that there's nothing else, because to think that like we're the biggest and most threatening thing on the planet, that's it.
As a collective, we are the alpha. We are at the top.
Maybe the planet. Maybe as a
on a one-to-one basis, I think that's
but
where
in
we struggle.
in a combat sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think that there are things out there that could eviscerate you more than a human with its bare hands / not hands.
Bear, gorillas. I mean,
Yeah. Even if
cats.
you're thinking that it's not a cryptid, like you could still get very badly maimed in a forest, even if it had no humans in it. But the idea of there also being a not so friendly Wendigo behind one of the trees staring at you, or a Mothman perched on a tree staring at you, and I don't know. I find that very exciting when I'm not there, but I will always have a little bit of like is it my like primitive brain being like, there are predators here.
Yeah.
Keep your like ears
that's how we
perked.
survive, though. That's how we survive, through thinking to ourselves, possibly there's something out there. It's like when my daughters come home from school, I'm like, just hurry up, it's getting dark, come home.
Yeah.
Because you know that in the dark is where the creatures lie, isn't
That's
it?
it. So I think that even if you were told that you were in an empty, dark room, there would still be something in you that's like, I'm wary that someone else is in here with me.
Maybe this asks for a larger conversation, I think.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to cover in regards to creepy creatures or experiences.
There was something that
anything.
we were talking about earlier, which I think could be a fun question to pose, which is,
Oh.
would you rather,
Right.
in your lifetime, I'm stealing this off Nathan,
Yep.
discover an alien race or like a deep sea civilization?
Can I take this on for me first? Is this so? I mean,
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
for it.
for me. So I think both would be significant, and I would never understate kind of like either of them. But for me, the discovery of an alien race would be something more important for us as a society,
I get that.
because this,
yeah.
you know, because there's this, and I'm it's all about, you know, this kind of edges towards like religion and people being so self-centered, and God made earth and we're the center of the, there was all that, and we've slowly, you get the Bible, it's slowly being chipped away at and slowly being made smaller and smaller. It's gone from fact to being, you know, mostly fiction, and then faith, and then the rest of it. And I think we could shake it up even more, not by saying there's an ancient race, not Atlantis, because they reckon that they found a location that could be Atlantis. I think that's fascinating. I've been looking recently, but like that, something under there, I'm like, okay, that survives, we survive, okay, I can deal with that. But imagine, have you seen District 9?
Yes.
So imagine, you know, a big ship coming, and that could be, that felt real. That film was very realistic. This ship came to Earth. It came because, well, we still don't know, and they're actually on about the District 10 at the moment, aren't they? I can't remember if they'd started or it was in progress of being made, but it was you know, this kind of like weird slave ship that had turned up without any significant leadership. They were all a mess.
They were all diseased, weren't they?
They were all just, you know, they're all eating cat food, and it was like, that to me is the real, one of those real encounters. They're either coming as a slave ship, they're either coming to survive because they can no longer survive, or they're I don't think they're gonna come and communicate with us. They're not gonna come and go, how's it going?
Yeah.
You're Earth, we're from whatever.
It'd be more of an accident.
I think,
or an emergency.
I think it's going to have to be an accident if we're found, because the universe is so big.
That's one thing I will say. I think as a race of people, humans would be incredibly stupid and close-minded and selfish to think that we are the pinnacle of the entire universe.
But we could also be the only intelligent.
We could, but I think that
ever to
thinking
evolve.
that and accepting that and resigning ourselves to being like, oh no, we are the best, even though we can't prove otherwise. Like, there's nothing to say that we are. We're just going to decide that we are. I think that'd stunt people's. I don't know what the word would be. I think it'd just stunt people
because it's very complicated.
Yeah,
you're trying to come up with you're trying to come up with one word.
Things. I think it'd just stop people from thinking about things as in depth as they should, potentially, if that makes sense.
But maybe thinking about us being the only race in the universe is also a very big topic and a very big question to us. As of why.
Yeah.
They reckon that. Well, they say they think that. So let's say we're going to go with, there's been thousands, millions of races to exist all over the universe, but none of them ever get to the point where they can traverse the universe, because they always end up running out of fuel, they pollute the environment, or they end up in a fucking war. It's like, at the moment you've got this bullshit going off with Ukraine. Now let's be honest, it's just posturing and absolute nonsense. Now it's all to do with this very small group of leaders, and I hate that. But that there's nothing to say that something could trigger something else, and this time next month we could be in World War fucking 3.
This is true, and with nuclear weapons, it's terrifying.
It is, and that's why there's a lot of treaties to get rid of them. But unfortunately, if you get rid of your weapons, you're immediately at a weakness, and that's not how leaders think.
But anyway, Nathan, aliens or underwater civilization?
Well, because when we were talking about it earlier, we didn't just do underwater, did we? We did like mole men, or I don't know, flying people or whatever. But I'd like aliens, because I think if we found aliens, like, if it'd be nice to find like mer people or something like that. because then we won't be alone. But then we'd probably end up having a fight with them to try and steal some off them, or they'd steal it. I don't know, because we're dickheads.
This is true.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'd spoil it. We'd be like,
Yeah.
what? They're coming over here, taking all our seed and being idiots. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. But I think if we saw aliens, or we knew about aliens, I think that'd be good. Because then, like you were saying, it'd get rid of our big head that wears like the biggest and the bestest, and it'll like knock us down a bit and be like, oh, maybe we should be working together. It gives, in a bad way, it makes a common enemy as well. Do you know what I mean? So people pull together more.
Yeah,
it's like it's me against my neighbour, me and my neighbour against the other street.
Yeah.
You know, it's your town against your town. But imagine
and you feel
an alien
that
race
safety in
turning up.
numbers
Yeah.
as well.
And
I feel like
that
I'm
might
the
be the job
unpopular
that we need.
opinion. Yeah.
You just want mermaids, don't you? You just want a mermaid boyfriend.
I would rather find a. I think the idea of alien, like you said, neither of them can be understated. They are both massive things. But for me, I'd love the idea of something have been on this planet longer than us, and us then coming to know about it, and them just being like, why would we want to interact with you? Because look at the way that you've messed it up there, pretty much. I feel like that would be the situation.
Have you ever come across the information about the old sort of temples and the stonework that's been put together so precisely that they have literally not a fucking clue how? Yeah. Like we can't even do it nowadays without very expensive technology and diamond cutting and all the rest of it. It's like, how could they possibly have made that without some sort of help? Is it realistic that they had that technology to do it? There's a really famous 12-sided, like, interlocking stone, and it's like, the fuck is that about? How?
I just think that it would be so interesting. There's a Doctor Who episode about it. I've forgotten the name of the lizard race in that episode. But they like have a full like ecosystem under there, and I can imagine that it would be kind of the same. People adapt, people evolve. It could go.
It's the Silurians.
Yeah. And the actual area, and I know it's obviously a Doctor Who episode, but it looks great. It could go that way, or it could go the creatures from the Descent, the crawlers. Like it, they could be like that. Like you never know which way people like they could be. They could be a really harmonious race under there, or they could be complete savages. You never know. Like.
Have you seen the film Arrival, by the way, just to do with aliens and that?
Don't think so.
Look it up. It's called Arrival. Please try and remember and watch it if you like. If you like stuff about this, is an alternative kind of like alien, not invasion, but arrival. It's very interesting, and that's to do with teamwork and stuff like that. It's very.
That one? I did watch one recently. I rewatched one recently. It's really, really like well known. The film. It's got like it's meant to be like found footage, but then also reenactments. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what it's called. It's a really good film anyway. If I remember it, I'll tell you.
Yeah, if you remember, let us know. Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think I'd prefer to find something that was here already, because I feel like it could tell us a lot more about what happened in the past. Because if there's generations of another race, they've surely got their own records of stuff too, and events that we could also then look at.
Anyway, you say that, but there are a lot of cultures that only discuss word of mouth, and it all gets changed, doesn't it?
I suppose that is true, and I am assuming that they do have some sort of like written record.
It's nice to think that they would have,
Yeah,
because they're going to need
they've evolved in a way anyway similar to us, but then you've got to think like.
Wait, would they be technologically advanced and living underwater in like little domes, or would they be organically different and living as like just amphibious beings? These kind of.
I don't know. It could be that. It could be biotechnology. You never know.
Maybe that's the way. Maybe that's the way forward. So I'm going to go for aliens. So we just let's say. Nathan went aliens, I went aliens. You're not getting an underwater civilization. It's legitimately going to be aliens that's going to be coming. And Jess, I'm going to wrap it up now because we've been going on for a long time, and this could definitely easily carry on for a lot more. So thanks for joining us today. Anyway,
No,
it's
no
nice to face to face, and no doubt we'll have some see if these excursions again at some
Yeah,
point.
definitely.
Maybe we'll teach you how to jump off with a barrel and blow ships up, which is legitimately some of the best fun you can have.
Always useful information.
So
Yes.
I've been Lee,
And I've been Nathan.
and you've been
I have been Jess.
brilliant, and we'll hopefully see you again. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.